Kids, it's time to learn more about Martin Luther King. Let's get started. Part 1. Becoming a college student at the age of 15. Martin was born on January 15, 1929, into a family with a strong ministerial tradition. His father, a prominent preacher at the time, always taught Martin and his siblings about the laws of Jesus. Among his siblings, Martin was the only one who opposed his father. In his early years, Martin's close friend and the son of a nearby store owner, Mike, shared a deep friendship with him until they turned 6. When they started attending school, Mike went to a high-grade school for white students, while Martin attended a segregated private school for black students. This marked a crucial point that would later lead Martin to become a civil rights activist. From this experience, Martin had to witness the consequences of the Jim Crow laws and racial segregation in the southern United States. Black individuals were forced to sit separately from white individuals in public places such as restaurants and buses. Despite the abolition of slavery in 1865, white individuals still considered black people as inferior. Martin's own family experienced discrimination, being expelled from a store simply because they were black.
No more, I will use all my strength to protect black people.
At the age of 13, Martin engaged in a debate with his Sunday school teacher, emphasizing that Jesus couldn't truly come back to life.
Not one of my teachers ever doubted the infallibility of the scriptures.
By this time, he was one of the outstanding students in his school, so at the age of 15, he enrolled at Morehouse College in 1944, the same college attended by his father and grandfather. Part 2. Becoming a civil rights activist as dreamed in childhood. After graduating from college, he was awarded a Bachelor of Divinity from Pennsylvania's Crozer Theological Seminary. He received a PhD from Boston University at the age of 26. In 1954, King became the pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. It was from here that his journey to advocate for the rights of African Americans began. His first notable action was leading the Montgomery bus boycott, a movement protesting racial segregation on city buses. After the successful resolution of the boycott and the end of racial segregation on buses, King gained widespread support.
I will demand justice for my people. You know, after I became the president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, I delivered over 2,500 speeches in front of crowds and traveled 6 million miles. Wherever there was a call against injustice, I appeared like a superhero. I have published more than 5 books and thousands of articles have been written.
This period marked King's emergence as a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, with his speeches, travels, and writings amplifying the call for justice and equality. Part 3. The speech went down in history.
The time has come for black people to have a standing in this America.
On that historic day, August 28, 1963, 250,000 people gathered at the Lincoln Memorial. New fact: Abraham Lincoln was once determined to abolish slavery in the United States. The speech, titled, "I Have a Dream," is one of the most iconic addresses in American history during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. This speech eloquently expressed King's vision for racial equality, social justice, and the fulfillment of the American dream for all citizens, regardless of their race or background. The enduring impact of I Have a Dream resonates far beyond its original context, making it a symbol of hope and inspiration in the ongoing fight for civil rights and equality. Part 4. Fun facts about Martin. Martin is not his real name. He was born as Michael King in 1929. However, in 1934, his father changed both his own name and his son's name to Martin Luther King in honor of the German Protestant religious leader Martin Luther. He is also a movie enthusiast. Martin was a Star Trek fan. It was the only show he allowed his children to stay up late to watch. King's first jobs. One of King's first jobs at age 13 was delivering papers. He became the youngest assistant manager for the Atlanta Journal delivery station. Martin Luther King was arrested 29 times. He often engaged in acts of civil disobedience to challenge discriminatory laws and practices, such as segregation and voting restrictions, prevalent during the civil rights movement in the United States. And Martin's family. He met his wife, Coretta Scott, in the early 1950s, and they married in 1953. Coretta Scott was highly educated and accomplished compared to many women of her time. They have 4 children, and all of them. They are all human rights activists, fighting for peace and against racial discrimination. Part 5. Martin's Legacy for Future Scholars. In 1964, with his dedicated efforts in the struggle for peace, Martin became the youngest person ever to receive the Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 35. After his passing in 1968, January 15th was designated as Martin Luther King Day, and he and his wife were posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Numerous roads and districts in the United States have been named after him to commemorate his contributions to the African American community in the U.S.
If you like our video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you and goodbye.